Jackie's films have a lot of action, but they're different from the action films of Bruce Lee. Jackie's techniques are flashier and more acrobatic than Lee's quick jabs and kicks. A typical Chan fight will include backflips and somersaults in addition to the traditional martial arts moves.
Bruce Lee always kicking very high. So when I make a fighting scene, I'm kicking very low. When Bruce punches somebody like this, I punch somebody like this. I make it more like fancier, more prettier.
What makes Jackie Chan different from Bruce Lee is his sense of humor. He has fun with his material, and he loves to surprise audiences with the unexpected. He loads his film with lots of martial arts action and excitement, but he also brings to them a unique sense of kung fu comedy. On location, you can really see Jackie in action. He makes up most of the action as he goes along, relying on his quick imagination and fearless athletic ability. He does everything on the set. He produces, directs, writes, choreographs, acts, and even edits. His films are quickly shot, and like low-budget spaghetti westerns, are enormously successful and entertaining. His films have become so popular because the audience feels they can identify with him. He's the boy next door, the underdog who overcomes impossible odds and finally makes it. And that's true of Jackie's off-screen life as well. At the age of 7, his parents emigrated to Australia, leaving him in a Chinese boarding school where he studied opera for the next 10 years. While still a teenager, he became a stuntman in motion pictures, but things were tough for him. Movie producers said he didn't look like the leading man type that was popular just then. So Jackie left the film business and picked up odd jobs as a bricklayer and a cook. Then, to his surprise, he got a call from a movie company that was willing to take a chance on him. In his first starring role in the movie Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, Jackie Chan became an overnight success. Critics say it's his charm and happy-go-lucky personality that keeps the audience coming back for more. Since Bruce's death, his extraordinary approach to martial arts has been continued through the work of Dan Inosanto. They met in 1964 during a martial arts conference and became fast friends.
Bruce Lee was probably the most unusual martial artist I have ever met. I believe that the public generally is fascinated by Bruce by the magnificent way he could control his body and the way he moved. Bruce taught us to be ourselves. And to be myself, I have to go into more of the Filipino martial arts, which is an empty-hand art, but it's based on the weaponry system.
The weapons most familiar to martial arts fans are the nunchakas, originally a farm tool used to beat rice. Their potential as a weapon was discovered about 350 years ago. Dan Inosanto introduced the nunchakas to Bruce Lee, who went on to popularize them through his films. Here, in their only screen appearance together, the two friends square off in a nunchaka game of death. With Dan as his protege, Bruce developed a unique approach to all forms of martial arts. It was called Jeet Kune Do. Dan, tell me, what is the basic difference between Kung Fu, as we all know it, and the martial art of Jeet Kune Do?
Well, Jeet Kune Do is based on simplicity and economy of motion.
Can you show me something?
Sure. For an example, there are many differences, but the example, if you were to punch in a karate man, usually they use this block here and they put this hand on the hip and they punch. This also opens the face up when he does this. A Jeet Kune Do approach might be something like this. Ooh. Okay, that's 3 hits in the same time it takes this man to go like this. Okay, so I'll break it down very slowly for you. You parry with the first motion, you poke, you punch, and you poke again to the other eye. That's Jeet Kune Do.
Bruce Lee borrowed freely from jiu-jitsu, karate, kung fu, and other forms of fighting, even Western boxing.
Surround him!
Martial arts purists never forgave him, but his fans loved it.
For example, in karate, they might block when they side kick like this, or they might just pat it down like this. Or in kung fu, they might hook it out like this. Okay? Bruce's idea was to first cause damage to the attacking leg. So if he were to kick, immediately I would hit the ankle bone, causing tremendous pain to him, and so he wouldn't be able to kick again. As a movie actor, I feel that probably someone will probably take his place. But as a complete martial artist, I would say no.
This is Steve Seagal, the only non-Japanese Aikido master ever in the history of Japan to own and operate an Aikido school on Japanese soil. Although what you're about to see may seem very physical indeed, watch closely and you will detect the difference between Aikido and other martial arts. Notice that the master is merely defending himself, turning aside his attackers while exerting very little counterforce of his own.
In Aikido, basically speaking, there is no punching, there is no kicking, there is no blocking, there is no collision. Aikido is basically being able to be one with the universe, be one with nature, so that you can therefore sense the intention of your attacker. Here.
Aikido works on a philosophy of positive versus negative energy. An aggressive act, such as an attack upon an innocent person, is negative force. Defense is positive, and according to Aikido, will always win as long as one remains in contact with the universe. The power of the Aikido master lies in an accumulation of ki, the power of mind, but it can be deadly when applied directly. Aikido, or being one with the universe, as Steve says, produces some unbelievable results. We don't know how this power works, but we're about to see it demonstrated even more dramatically. Now, Steve is preparing to demonstrate the sheer power of his mind. As you can see, two black belt students on either side of him can easily pick him up off the ground. But look what happens when he doesn't want them to. Now he will go one step further for an even more dramatic demonstration. He will withstand the combined strength of two men using only his little finger.
This is wushu, or at least one part of it. Wushu is really not one martial art, but a combination of kung fu, tai chi chuan, ballet, gymnastics, bodybuilding, and fencing. This mock combat with sword and spear looks more like a dance than a battle. But don't be fooled. That sword is razor sharp, and the spear has a steel point on the end. One slip on the part of either of these boys could mean serious injury or death. Beauty and death walk hand in hand in this most ancient of Chinese martial arts. Wushu is based on imitating the movements of animals. Monks at Chinese Shaolin Temple centuries ago learned that they could defend themselves by copying the fighting styles of the animals around them. The style of Wushu we are seeing is called monkey style. The leaps, jumps, and turns used to dodge the weapons are the same as a monkey would use. Other animals copied include tigers, lions, eagles, the praying mantis, and even ducks. Now, it may sound strange, but it works. Experts say the fighting styles developed by the Shaolin monks set the standards for every Oriental martial art, including karate and judo. Wushu is more than just knowing style. It also teaches the ability to anticipate where your opponent is going to be. The spears being thrust at this young girl are real. One mistake and she could be stabbed. Discipline, training, practice, and patience enabled her to perform this dangerous and amazing feat. This girl, by the way, is only 12 years old, but men as old as 95 are still practicing and teaching Wushu. Age is no barrier to excellence. This is a solo demonstration of the monkey style of fighting. As you watch, you'll see a gradual transformation from man to monkey. Bruce Lee, the best-known martial arts expert in the world, used a variation of this style in some of his fighting movements. Again, this looks like a graceful dance. But don't be fooled. In all-out combat, the stick he's holding becomes a deadly weapon. And don't think it's easy to learn. The Wushu team members have been trained since childhood to develop the needed skills and techniques.